Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Go Live, where we keep it real. This isn't the shill podcast. This is where we always strive, irrespective of platform, to say the true things. Yeah, this is going to be a mad show. We've got two mad recurring guests on. One, popular demand. Two, the father, the one who breastfed me into the scene.
Stop saying that. It wasn't my boob, it was someone else's.
It was yours, Dad. Daddy,
all right, stop, guys. Shit. Anyway,
I love making you feel awkward, man.
And we're not saying other podcasts don't tell the truth. We're just saying that we're a little more honest about it.
Oh shit!
No, I'm just kidding.
We are, and we always get shit for it. But hey, you know what? We're gonna keep doing it, and we have a fire show. We have a fire show for you guys. Of course, look at these two gents. It's gonna be mad. Well, you can see one of the other gents. The other one's a skeleton, but it's still gonna be mad. It's gonna be a mad one. But before we introduce our guests, we have this guy. This piece of. If you guys think I swim in the sauce, this guy swims in the sauce so rawly. Now you understand. Last week or the week before, wherever, Asa called out Tom Henderson and on his points. I'm in the between. I'm in the middle. You know what? Asa said you don't want to talk about. I'm going to talk about it. But Asa, you called out. It's the insider thing. It was such a good video. If you didn't watch it, it was released yesterday, right when we were in the height of this whole hi-fi rush, doom and gloom debacle. Asa always keeps it real, always, irrespective of whatever people say. Shout out to you, Asa. Man, you love to make enemies. How you doing, man?
I do. I quite like it's handy to have a few of them around, right? It keeps things interesting. Got to keep my eyes open, stay awake, make sure I'm not assassinated in the night. On the show, though, I'm looking forward to this. Like you say, two recurring guests. Dealer is obviously like an OG here. He set everything up. And Dealer, if you don't know, whether you like his opinions on Xbox and everything else or not, he's great guy to have in the scene. He will take time out to help smaller creators and give them the lift, and he helped us out a lot when we were starting up. So
I'm done with those days are over, Asa.
Genuinely, I'm not going to use like the same kind of words as Gaz with the breastfeeding and all of that stuff, but same sentiment, right? And post up, you were here like only a couple of weeks ago, but you were here with David Jaffe, who does take up a lot of airtime. So we had loads of people in the comments like asking, we want to hear more from post up. So great to have you both back.
Oh, let's go, man.
True, man. There was so much fire. Also, I just wanted you back, so there's that as well. But look, I'm so glad you pulled up here, both of you. And honestly, Dealer, you know it, man. I mean, I'm not going to keep laboring the point, but
you're literally doing that right now.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm delivering this point. That's it. I'm giving birth to this point. But yeah, shout out to you, man. And it'll never be forgotten what you did for us and how you helped us. And you gave me like an opportunity on RDX without knowing me. And I had such a great time.
All I did was say, grow a beard. That's my one tip.
I did?
Yeah, and look at you.
I did.
You guys doing great. What's the show about today, guys?
Lots of shit. On this point, Asa, I know you said you don't want to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it because I was like, such a good video. It's just like, I want to get, look, this industry. So Asa's videos on insiders and them leaking stuff out. And obviously Tom Henderson was in the chat and he didn't take it kind of, I mean, to be honest, he's been all right about it. But Asa, your video is so good because not only did you make your point quite strongly that you're against these insiders peddling the information given to them by people who breach their NDAs, you also countered it with this point that the risk of it is we then are wholly reliant on narratives from people who sign NDAs, who are shills, who give us this tightly curated information that doesn't naturally always reflect the reality. And as you were saying that, I was thinking cyberpunk, Phil, Paris Lily in his yellow chair. No, not just Paris Lily, but you know what I mean? Those guys. It's like boom, boom, boom. And I was like, you know what, Asa, it's more nuanced. If you're going to have a hardline position, that's great. I respect you for it. But we run a news aggregation platform, Asa. How are you going to control that? Tom Henderson's counter was like, well, if you guys are relying on that news, then you can't really say much. What would you say to that?
That's quite a lot in one go, Gaz. So, Cyberpunk is like every topic has some nuance and some depth to it, right? Everything that we talk about, it always does. There's always things in between and areas that you can explore. But I actually think doing the right thing versus doing the wrong thing can often be very, very simple. So sometimes when you're adding complexity, it's your way of kind of reasoning with yourself and reconciling and trying to justify why you're doing a shitty thing. In this case, that's what I see happening. You're reasoning, you're saying. Because the reason, the counter that I saw, if you can call it a counter, was that the news is out there, and if we don't break it, somebody else will.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly what the video was about. You're saying, I know that this is wrong, but I want the clout. And you just reworded it slightly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, yeah, essentially that's what's happening there. It's like it's a non-counter. In terms of our news aggregation platform, that is a complicated one for us that we'll have to figure out down the line at some point, because you can see a scenario. So GameOnDaily, if you don't already use it, you really should be. GameOnDaily is a fantastic platform, but it does let anybody speak. And our role in controlling what people are saying is difficult, because you can imagine a situation in future where someone uses our platform to directly breach NDA behind an alias. And then we might have publishers coming back to us and saying, like, you need to take that down. And where do we stand on that? We're a very young platform. We haven't had that conversation yet. I can only promise that we will take it very, very seriously and very, very carefully.
Yeah.
But we are not out here chasing clout, breaking rules, doing anything wrong. Absolutely not. Again, it was a nothing counter. It's why I didn't want to talk about this, guys, because I could talk about this for frickin' ages, but we've got guests and I don't want to take up all of the airtime.
That's what you got to say. Get it out.
Yeah.
And Cyberpunk as a use case, as an example, I think that should serve as a learning experience for a lot of people in the industry as to what they are signing. Because I think if you go and play Cyberpunk and you've signed an NDA to say, I'm not going to talk about all of these things, and then you see them and go, oh shit, this is bad news. You're not being some hero by revealing that. You signed an NDA. What you should have been doing, what the industry should step back and recognize, is that if you see an NDA and it looks egregious and you're like, oh, they're saying that I can review this game, but I'm not allowed to use any of my own footage. Maybe this isn't an NDA worth signing. Maybe I need to be bringing the details of this NDA forwards rather than signing it and doing an extended marketing piece. In terms of the idea that if you, like this black and white thing, that you're either doing this, like breaking NDAs, leaking things, and being a journalist with heavy hitting articles about what products marketing people are going to tell us about in a few weeks' time, or
that's not like
whistleblowing, that kind of thing.
Like, why do you need to?
But the idea that that's like, it was put forward to us that it's black and white. You're either that, or you're an extension of, like, you're a shill when you're an extension of the marketing platform. There's 4 people here. None of us do either of those things. We're not shills. We're not like playing to the marketing beat. Well, you can if you want. No, and we're not like, and we're not doing unethical things either. There's a massive space in between that a lot of people can occupy. So I disagree with pretty much every counter that I've seen so far. And I'm very open to counters. I'm very open to these discussions.
Absolutely.
And I would like someone to raise something a little bit more concrete than they have. Go on, Dilla.
I think it actually goes the other way to me, because it's your platform, your aggregate, right? And you can literally cover anything on there, whatever you want, right? You're not beholden to the information because it's on your site. You can critique it itself at the same time if you want. You can really go in the direction you want.
Absolutely. You can write an article saying, I hate Tom Henderson. I hate insiders, or I hate anything. You can do that. The platform, the tools are there. There'll be a challenge, absolutely, because if a publisher comes back and says, hey, we don't like that, remove that, because that's breaching the NDAs, then we would have a tricky point. We're like, well, these publishers are talking to us. We're kind of pandering to them now. And we ended up, what we don't want to be is an extension of that kind of PR marketing machine. Because from the beginning, me and Asa's aim was being this independent, like, integrity of the community, that like redress the balance between the noise. Like, this is what aggregator is. Don't just rely on.
It's a cloud chasing move. It's in this day and age where I call them old media, it's competing with the YouTubers in terms of where gamers and people get their information, right? So with the leaking of information and things like that, it's a cloud chase to drive click and attention, not only to your Twitter site, but to your website as well. Because we're in the industry where, in terms of the development process, it's walled off. from the consumer. So a game can be announced and you might see a 5-minute trailer, but you might not hear nothing about that game for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Before we even see another trailer, there'll probably be an additional 2 minutes on that. And so there's a market for gamers that's thirsty to figure out what's going on, because the developers are not going to say nothing until they're ready, and they want to shape the story behind how they present it. So
so that's the other side of the argument there. And the thing is, the industry, like Asa, with your like mantra or your set of beliefs, that would put a lot of people under fire. Like that means you're directly going after, not directly going after, but the people that fall under that umbrella would be the likes of Jeff Grubb, would be like Jez Gordon, who Jez Gordon actually is more conscientious in his leaks, but he has directly got murked by Microsoft, rebuked, and his counter has been, look, man, I need to pay my bills, and he's been quite forthright with it. But at the same time, he won't reveal the footage that he's got or has had for Avowed, because he doesn't want to take away or negatively impact the developers. So he's skating a weird line there. And it gets messy if you get into that. Remember that one time I said the Fable shit, and that was fed through me. I don't even know the person who did it signed the NDA. All I know is they left. I'm sure the NDAs are permitting, and we get people to sign NDAs all the time in our designs. You already, and that point made me think, but when you do make people sign NDAs, there's always it's fine making people signing NDAs, but the remoteness of enforceability is also a consideration. Like, if I'm going to get this guy to sign it, how do I know who has breached this NDA when I've given it to multiple parties? So there's that issue as well. But like when I did that Fable thing, and I'll never do it again, because I even reached out to the Fable devs. I'm saying, hey, listen, I didn't say though the info was wrong. I said, I have this information. David Springate I reached out to, and someone else, the head person, who then made a statement from, I was going to say Lionhead, no, from the Playground. And she said, it's cool. I said, this is what I actually said. This is what and people are taking it out of context. She was really nice about it. And she said, it's fine, don't worry. We're used to it. And she made that statement backing up what I said. But after that, I was just like, fuck it. Like, it's such a dirty business. All these people pretend insiders. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be considering, oh, this is a righteous leak, and try and fool myself. So I do agree with you. I understand that people they need to pay their bills and the industry relies on it. I also understand the industry peddles a lot of bullshit as well. So I'm like, is this a necessary evil? I don't know. But I like your position because it's strong, it's definite, and it's on the side of morality. If you're going to bring that, it's on the positive side. But it's a very interesting talk. It's very good that you made that video, man.
I hope that it gets some people thinking. My stance is, I admit it's fairly strong. It's uncompromising. We said that in the title, but I do find it very simple, and I find it easy to be uncompromising on that. You've put some names out there, so I have to say, like, the video happened to release among a shitstorm around Jeff Grubb, and it was nothing to do with Jeff Grubb. The video wasn't about him. So I'll say that categorically. Whether Jeff Grubb is a guilty party in breaching NDAs or not, I actually don't know. Jeff Grubb knows everything, and he's definitely not out there releasing everything that he knows. My experience of him personally is that when a story has already broken, he will then tell you what he knows. But I don't think he is a villain in all of this. I could be wrong. I'd have to speak to Jeff about it, but please don't take my words as an attack on Jeff Grubb, because he's one of my heroes. He's a great journalist. You've mentioned Jez there, and you've also mentioned that Jez has had his wrist slaps. I think Jez does his best to adhere to NDAs. Again, knows a lot. So these are two people that I see their names being thrown into this conversation, and I'm like, I'm not judging them. I don't know the answer for these two. Maybe they're doing things they shouldn't, maybe they're not. But in both cases, I'd take a position of respect before I start damning them. There are other people that have said outright, like, yeah, I know it's wrong and I do it anyway. Condemn those people all you like.
Yeah, fair enough. I respect both those gents, and that's fine. I just it's important for you to clear it up. But I think we can all agree that Blaze 4K is a piece of shout out to Blaze 4K in the chat. He goes, Xbox is the less box. Shout out to you, Blaze, you messy piece of shit. By the way, shout out to Wandering Dutch, who did such a good job on the his indie showcase, which you have to check out if you haven't. It must have taken hours for him to sort out. It's such a good show.
Days with all that editing. He had to spend days on that with all that editing. The production value was incredible.
Really good, man. And it's just like the format of it. The format of Wandering Dutch's show is what everyone wants the format for Xbox's Direct and everything to be. Games. A little bit of sexy Dutch just there goes, hey guys, I'm not going to be here for long. Just touching my beard. Games. Boom. There it is. Well, shout out to you, man. Dutch, that must have taken a long time. It deserves way more views, and I hope it does get it. And people out there, platform holders and publishers and all the indies, keep an eye on that channel and respect to him. And thank you, Dutch, for opening our eyes to so many good games. Because one thing I kept seeing in that is one thing I increasingly noticed with these things is indies. They're the glow up is amazing. From squarely pixel art relegated 2D games, they're now going pretty saucy, man. 3D games. So, some games like this. Is this AAA? Is this really indie? That kind of conversation is happening often. I love that because the AAA game space is fucked as far as ingenuity and originality is concerned.
And just the number of them actually releasing.
And innovation in gameplay mechanics. And I saw a lot. Some of them games I was like, is like you were saying, guys, is that an indie? Because a lot of that stuff had AAA quality. But I was even intrigued about the crab game, the Souls crab game with the crab. Oh, the gameplay mechanics that they was using in that was like fire. It didn't have to be graphical, but the gameplay mechanics, the crab putting the thing over it as a shield, he had a lot of jewels in there, a lot of jewels.
Definitely. That kind of ingenuity you get to see a lot of. And the AAA space is dead dealer. Look, we get... You're right.
It's not dead, guys. It's not dead. And the indie space benefits a lot from less cooks in the kitchen. I think it's that more than I think a lot of people understand. With these big AAA studios, you got 16 guys fighting Cory Barlog to the death, whether or not the turtle should be in the game or not. And with any game, you got one fuckface. He's sitting there. He's like, I want to do this, and he builds it. Maybe he's got another friend or two, but largely there's less cooks in the kitchen, and they kind of do what they want to do. They play around with it.
Yeah, and that's the problem that the initiative had. There are all these big competing personalities, the top tier talent, and they couldn't get consensus because they are no, I want my turtle to be big, or I like turtles, and because I don't like turtles. Let's remove them. I hate turtles. So you're good point there. Whereas the indies, you got a passion project from often a sole developer delivering these incredible games. They take these risks visually. They know they have to stand out. So there's a massive impetus to take risks in terms of visual presentation, gameplay mechanics, like you mentioned, that whole Demon Souls thing. Also, the skater's story. I was like, what is this? It's like I dropped some mushrooms and started skateboarding and playing Tony Hawk. What is this? This game looks beautiful. Indies are where it's at in terms of if you want those kind of diverse experiences, and Dutch did a great job of that. So shout out to Dutch. I will actually be catching up and going back and watching that show to see all the stuff that I missed, because it's quite long and it's really good. So shout out to you, Dutch, man. Well done, man. And yeah, it was a great show. Speaking of AAA spaces, or AA, I don't know what it is. Dead Island 2. What is that? AA, AAA, AA.
That's a AA that was adopted by a AAA studio, and then downgraded to AA. No, it's apparently not horrible. It's been through 5 different development houses. A lot of people don't know that. Any game that goes through that many studios, I'm just surprised it's even in the 70s, honestly.
And that it's just not coming out.
It came out. Yeah, it came out after a long time. It came out a long time in development.
It's out now.
It was announced years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's had a
house. What?
See, it is. It's out now. I was playing a few hours of it today and yesterday, and I'll be honest, I wasn't a big Dead Island fan. But bro, the game is beautiful and it runs really smoothly. I know Boba Fett. Was it Boba who had some game breaking?
He had a bug. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he says it's better now. Yeah. So he seems a lot better than that clip.
bro, I played it. Yeah, I didn't come across any major bugs at all. I can't even think of one. But the game is beautiful. Like, I was playing it, I was like, maybe I should make a video on it because I was taken aback by it. The game, like you see it here, is exactly how it plays, and it looks so good, and it feels good because it's smooth 60. And I was just like, bro, like that 60 frames that people are crying about the Redfall thing, that this game made me realize how nice it is to have smooth 60 on the first person. Like this.
What?
Yeah,
what?
because
this?
If this game was running 30, I think it would actually.
All games running 30 is trash. Like, I'm not saying the game's trash. I'm saying the experience is trash compared to 60. But so you're saying this kind of put it into perspective, like a game that you wouldn't normally play at 60. Normally you're used to COD, things like that, but this is more of an open world-ish type of zombie game. This, you know, I get what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, the Redfall thing, you know, again, we know the hardware can do it. I don't know if you guys remember, but they said Valhalla was going to be 30 at launch, right? Until we spoke up. The same group of people were damage controlling that.
Yeah.
It's not a restriction of the hardware. It is a time issue, and the studios even admitted that that's why they haven't upgraded to Unreal Engine 5. They're short on time, and it's just a lot of guys that are making excuses for stuff. We're not saying you can't enjoy the game at 30. We're not saying we couldn't enjoy it at 30. We're saying we know what we paid for. We know what the hardware's capable of, and it should be 60 FPS. And we don't want to see this kind of thing happen again. And a lot of people took that and ran with, you know, fucking bashing Xbox. It's like, get out of here. You know, we've spread more positivity about Xbox than a lot of people put together, you know.
I was going
to say that about RDX, yeah, but you only play Xbox. You got Fonz and D. Okay, D's on PC. Fonz is pretty much on Xbox, but he does play everything. And the passion, your Tuesday show was fucking. I've never seen you like speechless. You're trying
because I was like, really? This is the thing you're gonna act like murdered your family, and now you're gonna come back and you're pissed off? Like, I mean, I get what they're saying, but yeah, I didn't agree 100% with everything they were saying.
This happens.
I understand Fonz's anger.
Generation. This happens every generation. Every generation, we say this is going to be the 60 frames generation. From the PlayStation, from the 360, PlayStation 4 era, 1080p, the 60 hours. We finally finna get it with the hardware, and then these developers come out from a choice of design, choose to say, hey, we're gonna do this in 30, and you know, and everybody
at launch,
cool,
right?
Yeah, at launch, and everybody cool with it until it's, you know. Until it's a specific.
You see, I'm old enough to remember the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 generation was going to be 120 frames per second on two screens at once.
Yeah. You used to have two HDMI ports, right?
Yeah, we do this every generation. Like, look, every game is not meant. 60 is cool, and I'm not saying that
Remember, it's happening post up before you start. They said it's coming. So it's meant to be at 60, just like everything else.
Yeah,
they showed it at 60, nothing at 30.
Yeah,
they never showed anything at 30. Maybe the CGI, but they only showed it at 60, and everyone's annoyed because Redfall looks the way it does. It doesn't scream next gen, and that looks running at 30. And it's the way the news dropped. Like 2-3 weeks.
It was like Sony telling us Spider-Man was on the PS4 as well.
yeah, exactly. Different. Yeah.
No, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what are you saying that they didn't what?
I said they've been patient for other games to get patched. I mean,
bro, this is a first party game.
Launch, though?
Yeah. I mean, this is, bro, the problem is, Redfall gets this patch, say 2 weeks later. That's 2 weeks too late for a game like that. It needs to be hitting on that.
I don't think 2 weeks is horrible, though. You know,
I mean,
all of it sucks to me, but I think that's sooner than I think maybe the patch might be out.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying
make it sooner, Gaz. Stay a week, not 2 weeks. Come on.
Make it a week, then delay it for a week. It's just these kind of games. Bro, have you noticed they're not marketing the fuck out of this game at all? Microsoft, the Xbox controllers. Here's a carbon copy controller thing. Like, what the fuck is that? Why are you advertising controllers, man?
Well, I think they addressed some of that, and this is no excuse, but they say a lot of their marketing happens on the box itself, and you know, with Game Pass, we all see it. Somebody's playing. What the fuck is Power Wash Simulator? I got to get into this shit. Everyone's playing it on my friends list. Like, that's kind of how these games are being presented to you now.
Yeah.
You know, like it or hate it. this kind of Netflix style viral wildfire marketing.
Like they marketing, it's trash. To be honest, the way they market, it's trash. The way they market their games is trash. I know social media is a big thing. I know everybody's on their phones and things like that, but people are still on television. NBA playoffs is going on right now. You should be marketing. Look, my Game Pass been on the market, 5-6 years or more now? My cousin went to a pawn shop to get a PlayStation, right? The disc drive didn't work, so he grabbed the Xbox. He called me and asked me, have you heard about Game Pass? It's been now 5 or 6 years. So you mean it's so many people that don't know what Game Pass is.
Definitely don't know.
Microsoft don't put it in their face. They don't put it in the face of the soccer moms or anything like that. You're not on TV. You're not on these Super Bowl ads, these NBA players, all these. Even when the soccer thing is going on, be out there. You just can't leave it up to the content creators and social media to do this job, because Sony, regardless of they are everywhere on television. Took my kids to see Mario. They're in the movie theaters before the movie come on. Come on now, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but
100%.
So Xbox have like a defined marketing budget, and they used it to put adverts on the London Underground to convince people that Activision Blizzard King should go through. That's good use of money, right?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, man. It's true. I see the adverts all the time. Apart from that one, I've seen that one. But I've seen PlayStation adverts everywhere.
Yo! Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Where the marketing is going.
Use your votes wisely, people of the subway. Did it go through? Yes.
Oh yeah, what do you do with that ad? It's just like, what's gonna happen with that? Whereas I see every day, I see so many PlayStation ads. And you're right, Post Up, on your point about the fact that Game Pass, like viral or not, the masses don't know about it. Every time I talk to people at work, like even like the casual gamers, your COD or your FIFA gamers, they go, oh man, get an Xbox, get Game Pass. What is it? So I have to explain it to them. And my line is always the Netflix of games. Like, oh, really? What is it? You can get, really? It sounds like that. Like, do you just make that up? I'm like, no, man. Like, why am I doing Microsoft's jobs for them and just explaining to them what this service is? That can save so much money. It's stupid. Microsoft are idiots with that marketing. They need to fix that up. But, that's their problem. Ultimately, when this Hi-Fi Rush thing broke out. So let's just quickly go into that. Like, Hi-Fi Rush, very quickly, if you may not be on social media, Jeff Grubb, bless his heart, was talking in passing about saying that Xbox leadership are not happy the state of Xbox currently in terms of sales. And he, in this passing remark, he mentioned Hi-Fi Rush, and he said that it didn't hit the sales metric. And this wasn't it sounded like he said it wasn't a success. And obviously the hate brigade took that, like, grabbed it. The ponies loved that, and then they framed it on the wall, and boom, and then screaming about it. And then Aaron Greenberg,
after calling him a fraud for a year, because he says something positive, right?
Yes,
exactly, Dilla.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't trust you. I'm gonna shoot you.
Speaking truth, speaking facts. That's exactly what they're the same people who were rinsing Jeff Grubb for his Kojima stuff. Like, oh, what happened? J-Dub was fucking loving it. J-Dub, where are you?
Yo, when he said that Kojima, they ripped him for that Kojima information, bro.
Yeah, they did.
And a lot more, yeah.
And a lot more. But with this one, they had selective amnesia, all of that. And they latched on with it. And at that same day, just like an hour before Aaron Greenberg came out to clarify it, I just tweeted out and said, wait, hold on. They used this to spin Forspoken as a success. The word success was used for a game that caused the demise of the studio that made it.
David brought up Returnal.
Bro, it was like, what is going on? And that, like, the studio Tango Gameworks had come out and said it's the biggest success they've enjoyed for a very long time. They're on a hiring spree of 150 plus people. Very polar opposite what's happened with Forspoken. And then boom, Aaron Greenberg comes out and says, no, this is not true. This is a key measure of success in a variety of different factors. And then, even Phil Spencer retweets that. The studio said it. And that brought the question of, what actually constitutes success in a Game Pass like model. But if it's facilitating growth within the studio and the studio are happy, the platform holder is happy because it's one of their breakout successes, then be careful about like peddling or relying on narratives. And in fairness to Jeff Grubb, if you actually watch what he said, I watched it and I'm like, someone made an article about this? This is like a passing comment. It's not news like the way he said it. And I can't believe it.
It is weird to mutter off like it's not successful and all this stuff, right? Like the
sales element of it was, and he did try and damage control a little bit.
And even then there's like, it's just too much. That's basically telling people it's a flop in the old style of thinking, right? I just wouldn't put that kind of stuff, even if you think that's true. It's too up in the air and open to interpretation to put out there. I would think
it is, and didn't age well.
I just don't get it. Forspoken comes out, it does bad. Square Enix come out and states that it didn't hit sales expectation. The studio no longer exists. They broke up, been sent airwells, but being together, and they fought saying it was still successful. And every time NPD charts come out and Forspoken is on there, they use that to justify the game was a success, even though their studio doesn't exist anymore. And Square Enix came out and told you that it wasn't a success, right?
Like, no, they're lying.
But Greenberg, but as I say, this is one of the biggest hit we've had in a long time, came out and told you it was successful. Steam got a 97% positive rate on it. It did well there. No physical copy, right? We know it was top 5.
No physical copy at all, yeah.
We know it was top 5 on Game Pass. What other metrics are you trying to, manage this expectation or success from? And in a corporation as big as Microsoft, what executives are you talking about? Because there's levels. This is all BS, man. This is all BS. You ponies ain't got nothing to do because Sony ain't showed them nothing. They don't know what's going on with Spider-Man 2. All they know is coming out in the fall. They don't know what Wolverine coming out. All they know is they got 12 games as a service coming out in the next 2 years, and they don't know what they are, when they gonna get them, or when they gonna come out.
They know where they're getting them though. PC and PlayStation day one.
Say it again.
PC and PlayStation day one.
Say it again.
Oh man, it's true because it was a series of bad news. So you had the power thing, and then you had the sales figures. Let's be honest, the sales figures were pretty crazy bad for Xbox, whereas Sony is seeing this 400% glow up. They're killing it in terms of sales. And then this Game Pass is the last bastion, and they're trying to freaking use that. They got too bold. They're like, that's the end of Xbox. That's what they're trying to say. Phil Spencer needs to go. I'm like,
are you downloading on your Xbox again?
You are, aren't you?
Fuck. Let me just.
He did bop for a minute.
I
thought it was an effect for a minute.
It is funny though because people expect these sales numbers for hardware to be, through the roof, right, or competitive when there have been no games released. So you've got no big games from Xbox anytime recently, and as soon as Starfield hits, I think you're going to have a noticeable difference there. Definitely.
I think so.
Back to Hi-Fi Rush, just because whether what Jeff said had any truth to it or not, whether Aaron Greenberg's rebuttal can be entirely trusted or not, is kind of besides the point. With Hi-Fi Rush, it was really damn well received by players, really well received by critics, and it didn't really have marketing because it was a shadow drop. So whether that game hit metrics or not, if it fell short in any way, then that's a problem with the expectations, not with the game. The game smashed everything that it possibly could. So,
like they expected giant things out of a game with literally stealth dropped or whatever, right? I mean, you couldn't expect it too much.
What more could it do besides be loved by everyone?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Like, but I will say that just because they shadow dropped it doesn't mean they don't market it. I think they should continue marketing it or show people. Like, they just stopped. With Redfall, you don't see any ads at all for that game. It's coming out in a couple of weeks. It's supposed to be one of my Xbox's big first-party titles. Chat, have you seen ads for Redfall? I have not seen anything. Whereas with Sony, I've seen Final Fantasy 16. What about launch trailers? They're still churning out recycled CGI in their Twitter page, but you don't see any ads. With Zelda, you got a launch trailer. You got loads of things to build up the hype. And all screens like you don't have any confidence in your own IP. And like Microsoft, that's not good marketing. You're just relying on virality, but that is an unknown factor there. The standard, normal advertising campaign exists for a reason. It works for PlayStation for a reason. But let me read these super chats. They've been very generous. Eric, 83 with a $2 super chat. Xbox is the weight box. What about them Cubs? I think this is aimed at you, Post Up. This is probably a football analogy. Or
Cubs?
baseball,
The baseball, the Cubs are on the road. Before you go, Tom Henderson is in the chat. I think he just threw a shot.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush should have leaked and it would have been a bigger success. Tom, are you smoking crack? What are you talking about, right?
Leave Tom and his crack pipe alone. Man.
I don't know what that means. Shout out to Tom, indeed. Asa's your biggest fan. 108 Dragons TV, thank you for the $5 super chat. He goes, good day, panel. What's good, my gaming community? Have an awesome weekend. Shout out to you, man. 108, always with the energy, man. Mad love. Dirt's getting messy. He says, Dead Island is fire. So you're enjoying that. So I'm enjoying it too. I'm not a big fan of that kind of... not big fan. I was not massively looking forward to it, but hey, it made memes with me, and I'm going to complete that game. And I might make a video on it and say, hey, this is a fun game. Check it out. My name is Mud. Not my name. That's the super chat guy. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Goes, Dead Island 2 is the crackdown of 2023. I disagree with that. I don't know where that comparison comes in. It's not like it had masses of hype. It's definitely better looking than Crackdown, and it's
reviewing a lot better than Crackdown.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Udani, thank you for a member for 18 months. Shout out to you, bro. Goes, Xbox DVR bad. UI back to drawing board. Redfall 30 FPS. Do you think Xbox is prioritized? Oh, such a good chat. Good question. And Deal, I want to go on to you with this. Part of me is actually frustrated at Xbox, how it treats the console gamer. Udani says, do you think Xbox is prioritizing PC because of its open system and brute forcing console weaknesses? My angle was more on the lines of, I feel like Xbox console owners get treated like second-class citizens when this whole PC focus. And I feel like Xbox need to be reminded that we were the people that made Xbox, like the core. Asa hates this word, core gamer, but us diehard Xbox fans, man, without us, Xbox is dead. And I feel like we just get shat on by Xbox with this whole PC focus. Yeah,
listen, the second you switch the HDMI from your Xbox, where you were in a party with your friends playing multiplayer, and you switch it over to the PC and do the same thing but don't pay a damn thing, there's definitely a divide there, right? You don't got to pay for the online like you do Xbox. You don't got to pay, or they removed the requirement for party chat, but you get my point, right? This has been the thing ever since they've been doing the cross-play and cross-buy thing, and they've always kind of not charged PC for the exact same thing on the same servers, right, with the same group of people that they would charge console guys for, and it's unfortunate, and a lot of it's because a lot of people out there will fucking damage control it, just like they did when they tried to double the price of Xbox Live during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
A lot of podcasts damage controlled that shit. That wasn't acceptable. It's not acceptable. It will never be acceptable. In fact, we shouldn't be paying anything for this online shit. We shouldn't, no matter what anyone tells you. Everyone else does it for free. Steam, really, I mean, they've got the biggest user base, and they find a way, they manage, and they make plenty of money. Long story short, yeah, we're kind of are getting treated that way, and it kind of threw me back a little bit because the other day I saw them retweet PC Game Pass's what was it? It's a great time to build a rig, right? And I just left a comment, like, friendly comment. No, console's the way to go. And I just remind them, like, we don't give a fuck about that. And the reason they do is because it's the largest untapped market when it comes to, like, immediacy, right, for Game Pass to grow.
Yeah.
That's the big market they want to start crunching on.
Because they've even said it. Phil Spencer said Game Pass has, like, kind of their growth has stalled on consoles, and now they're focusing on PC for the reason you just said. But I just feel like Xbox need to be slapped around a bit and say, hold on, don't treat the console gamer like second-class citizens. Like, the Game Pass, the gold analogy is perfect example of that. Why are we paying for that? And I see damage control all the time. And I'm seeing it in chat right now. Pixelbit G says, they do need to cater for us. We just need to stop crying so much. Y'all be paying for
they might
forever.
do it if you start crying at all, sir. You know?
Yeah, like, what do you want us to say? Like, if you're going to keep saying it, only then will they notice. We don't like it, but let's move on. Then
They tried to charge PC players. I think it was with the games for Windows Live when they initially launched Live on PC and tried to. It wasn't successful, and then the PC players won't go there because they had other avenues to play online for free. Well, I'm finna go ahead and charge you to play online on PC when I got other avenues to do it for free. And they had to walk. They had to walk it back. They had to switch up everything. So. Either that or, PC players going to find a way to, do what they do. They tried, and it wasn't successful. And they had to switch the whole slogan. They got rid of Game for Windows Live, and now we're here with what they have now.
Because the community spoke and they said, no, we have a zero tolerance policy for this. And Xbox should demand that. I said, look, we tolerated it before because Xbox was a whole generation ahead of PlayStation and any other console in the 360 years as far as online gaming is concerned. So that was more palatable. But when PS4 caught up with it, what is it? What's going on now? Like, your games with gold is absolutely laughable. I don't even know if they still do it. I don't even care.
They do.
I don't even know why they still do it.
They started doing it because PlayStation started giving away those free games, right?
Exactly.
And that's what we keep talking about, competition. That's why we do compare the two. They're on the opposite side of the coins, right? But they are definitely on the same coin. And it's important to take note of what one's doing so you can ask for better from the other. And they've responded by quite literally giving you things like games with gold. And back then, it didn't used to have herpes. It was all right. Wasn't bad.
It was good. It was like, okay, because competition. But now I think they just got lazy, and we need to remind them. So if anyone at Xbox is watching, I don't know if they watch anymore, but it's just like, don't treat us like shit, or we will come out and just.
I don't know if it's necessarily like, okay, they're spitting on your face and all this shit. I think that they've taken strides to make things free. On both, like I said, the party chat. It was always dumb to have party chat cost money when you could literally get on their very own Skype app and talk for free on their own console. There's a lot of stupid things like that they got rid of, which is good. And most recently, the free-to-play games, right? The paywall for that and all that.
Yeah.
They are trying to make strides there, but I would like to see a little bit more progress there. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
And the DVR. Now the DVR's got the Twitter function removed. That's not really their fault. It's Twitter and Elon's just fucking up. But that's just another thing. It's just like
he's charging companies like $42,000 or $45,000 to
a month.
Why? Why do you think that would be a thing that works?
He's trying to get that.
I don't know, bro. The only reason I'm subscribed to Twitter Blue is because I need those HD video uploads. But really, that should be a standard feature in social media, like platforms like that. Otherwise, it looks grainy and freaking disgusting as hell on Twitter if you don't have that subscription when you upload videos. So it's just like, I don't know what that guy is doing. He's just, since Elon Musk bought Twitter, that thing doesn't work at all. Like, half the time, nothing works.
It's like, being powered by robots now.
It is by AI. But it's just, I don't know what's going on. But we have to keep reminding these companies, and we'll do that. If we don't do it, no one will. So Mathusio, shout out to you, man, with the 349 New Zealand dollars. No panic. Xbox is a platform now, not just console. I hear that a lot. Dude.
It's an ecosystem, definitely, but it's not a platform.
What that's supposed to mean? Like,
It's everything.
There's a reason when you type Xbox on Amazon and Xbox pops up and not a PC. They're very different things, but they are part of the same ecosystem for sure.
Okay. My name is Mud. It's been the $2 super chat. Goes, what other Xbox first party game has run at 30 frames?
None. Not released on next gen consoles.
Yeah.
There's only been 2 or 3 from anyone in all those games, including Redfall, have been confirmed to be optimization and time issues.
Yeah, definitely. How much time? That's the question. Edwin Garcia with a $5 super chat. You might disagree with me. Xbox needs a true exclusivity window. Release it to PC 4 months later. Look at the movie business as an example. And that was on audio.
They've looked at gaming. I mean, haven't they gone the other way? Like, movies have come towards gaming more than gaming has gone towards movies, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
When it comes to business model.
True. I do like PlayStation's model more though, where for consoles priority, and then PC is more of an afterthought. I think that's better for now. I was going to say that that looks like set to change. Shout out to 560 people watching. Smash that like button. We are just swimming in the sauce. God Emperor Sofa King with a $5 super chat. Forspoken devs got scattered like Dragon Balls after a wish. After a wish. What the fuck? Them suckers are gone. Big up to Dirt and Ace. Shout out.
Fucking Dragon Balls.
Visualizing the Dragon Balls just
flying up in the sky. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, imagining that analogy. Jay Rembo with a $5 super chat. Isn't it wild how PlayStation guys forgot what Jim Ryan said? PlayStation is about to fund Xbox first-party games. Oh, that's messy, and soon it will be with COD. Ooh, sauce. Boneslave with a $5 super chat. Redfall is Xbox's first AAA new IP exclusive since Quantum Break, and they can't hit the promised benchmarks at launch. They deserve to be criticized. Facts, absolutely, which is why we're pissed and reminding them that, like, that's not good enough.
Sea of Thieves is a new IP, sir. I mean, so if I already poked a hole in the logic with this shitty game, who knows what else we could find?
No, that's
I'm
true.
just kidding. No, yeah, definitely should definitely be running up to par.
Yeah, but it's true. But Sea of Thieves or not, that is true. And I agree with Boneslow. And with the $5 super chat again, he says, Redfall. No, that's the same thing. I just copied it twice. I'm an idiot. Harry Go Lucky with a £5 super chat. Shout out to you, man. He goes, Hi-Fi Rush is my current game of the year, along with Dredge. But the only marketing I saw from the game was from the community shouting about it. Absolutely, Harry, because there was no other marketing. And so, Asa, do you want to congratulate Tom Henderson for being a member? That fucked up. Just well, shout out to you, Tom Henderson, for being a good sport and handling the source.
A very good sport.
He's been a good sport, man, and respect to him. Like, he didn't shy away from the comments, and he had a counter whether or not it has weight or not, in your opinion. You could have been a bitch about it, but he didn't, So I rate him for that. And yeah, well done. And shout out, thank you, Tom, for being a member, man. If you ever have the appetite to have a conversation about this, he said he's happy to have a chat.
Absolutely.
I only did that so I could get a refund.
Sounds like an invitation.
Oh, shit. I'm going to be sitting in the back, have a one-on-one with Tom, and just go. Tom, the offer is there. He's challenged you.
No. As a conversation, not a challenge. I'm not like adversarial.
Oh man, that would be a good show. Have a conversation. There's a lot to talk about. We're not being a dick, Tom, but yeah, shout out to you. Beta Cypher with his first super chat. Shout out to you, man, and it's good to always see you in chat as well. He goes, thank you for the super chat. He goes, hey, Gaz and Ace, it's been a fantastic show so far. Just started. D-Learn post-up are great. Been playing Dead Island 2 since yesterday on my PS5, and it's fantastic. A lot of people are enjoying that game, man. And I'm surprised by it. I was just like, this is good. I was not I was hearing about it, and ACG was talking about it, saying, hey, it's supposed to be really good. The reviews landed kind of lower than I thought, because I think on a show, I said it might even hit 80s. It didn't hit 80s. But when I'm playing it, even I was taken aback by the quality of it. Whether or not it has long-term proposition with its gameplay, you can get a bit still. But how
many hours you got in it?
About 6, 7 hours.
You have 0 bugs.
I think so, but I've gone quite a bit. No spoilers, but I've gone quite far. Well, not far in terms of story, but 6-7 hours ish. Really good. I'll check on the app. But I was playing it all of this morning, and it's really fun. It's really fun and smooth, and didn't miss a beat. I didn't have any bugs. And one thing I will say about we kind of skipped Dead Island, but what I loved about this game is the systems actually interact with themselves really well. So I was just testing it out. So, you've got electricity. Then I poured some water there. Oh, no, sorry, fuel leading to it. But I didn't have anything to set it on fire. But I had a sword that you modify with electricity. And I just smacked it on the ground to see if it would set the flame on fire. It did. And then it went in and blew up petrol cans next to the zombies. It's like, oh, these systems are working really well.
That's nice.
The physics, it's really good. Like
the zombie apocalypse, man. Why are you burning all the resources? He's blowing up all the gas. They don't make this shit no more.
Oh, they make a lot of it apparently because Hollywood is filled with canisters everywhere, perfectly placed everywhere. It's so funny the way this rendition of Hollywood is. Am I lagging again? I think I am. My internet's
keep doing it,
bugged out. I think it's just my internet, man. Sorry.
I saw on the Dead Island. I saw on Twitter someone had clipped. I haven't played it myself, but I saw someone had clipped it. They were doing the whole power wash simulator thing. They were cleaning the blood off of all the pavements with some water. And I was like, that's actually, I want that. I'm not going to clean, but
the blood in that game is amazing. The violence is great. You can chop bits out, and you see the bits of the heart, like if you
but you can do that in real life, though. That's not interesting.
All right.
We do not recommend that. We do not recommend that, chat. But yeah, it's a great game, man. Don't sleep on it. I might make a video on it. Shout out to RG Viper X for being a member for 16 months. Why is D-List still not on camera? At least I was on camera GRG Friday nights.
Why do you want to see me so badly? That's my question. I'm a skeleton. I'm right here. It's fine.
Oh man, no, absolutely. People do want to see you. But
shout out to RG Viper though. Seriously, he's a long-time listener, like a lot of shows in the community.
Absolutely, he has been for a while. Tom Anderson in the chat says, "I have nothing against Asa and his opinions on insiders. It's an interesting discussion on the industry as a whole. Happy to have a chat whenever." See, this is a nice guy. I can hate him. Not that you hate him, no, but yeah, I definitely will do. Reach out to him, Asa. That'd be really good. So we've got Dead Island 2 impressions, generally really good. So do check it out. Another game, I don't know if I know, Dealer, you haven't played it, but the demo just came out Thursday. Street Fighter 6, which is the thumbnail of the game, like of today, of the show. I've got to play the demo. And generally, well, let me ask you, Post Up, what is your take on it? What is your take on your impression of this game? Oh, by the way, shout out to Tom Anderson, who just gifted 10 subs, man.
Wow.
Jeez. That is so nice. 10 subs? You can gift subs now.
What?
It's just a weird. Yeah, you can.
What? How does that work? Maybe we can talk about that later.
Bro.
That seems
we need to talk about it.
That seems weird.
It tells you, like, Slim Pickens.
I'll give you Bloody Sphincter, Dr. Dinglenut, and, fuck it, Post Up. We'll throw them in there, I just don't get how that works, but we'll cover that later.
Yeah, definitely, man. He gave it to Albert G, Dorian, Leo, JJ, Ashley, Low Tier Gamer got it. God Emperor, Sofa King, Afropunk. Say your thank yous to Tom, man. Very nice. And Tom Anderson goes 10 memberships paid by leaks. We are now culpable and guilty. He's laundering his dirty money.
He want all the smoke.
I just did that to get a refund on all of them. That's what he's thinking.
Oh shit, man! Damn, that's it. He's laundering his dirty money through us. But shout out to you, man. You didn't need to do that, but thank you so much. But yeah, man, Post Up, sorry to interrupt you, man. What are your thoughts on Street Fighter 6?
I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really get into Street Fighter 5, and when I did try to play it, it kind of messed up my PS5.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't boot that back up again. Once it got the freezing, and we're not doing that.
Fire.
But I played the demo. The demo was pretty good. Graphically, it looks impressive. I do like the impact system. being able to impact in the parry system. I think if I go back to Street Fighter in the arcade, whenever you got in the corner, if you was playing somebody good and they pressed you in the corner, usually it was a wrap for that round because you're just going to get beat up stuck in that corner. But with the impact in the parry system, it allowed you to counter or prevent yourself from being just locked in the corner getting smashed up. So I like that. And then I like the super system where you get 3 supers, and depending on how you use them, you can use one as a finisher to end off the round, because it'll take up all 3 bars, or you can just use them throughout the round strategically. So I do like that. The only thing I'm kind of questioning is it going to be the battle of people that's really good or the battle of whatever controller setup you have? Because I seen 3 controller configurations in there that was kind of like, oh, this is... Now, I went with the classic where you have to do everything on your own, but you did have the more modern take where they just put everything on one button and you just press one button and it do it for you. And then I think it's more so of an accessibility with the third one where you just press any button and it just do stuff for you as you... I don't know how that's going to play out online. Is they going to allow that online for people to...
I don't know.
And this game models itself, believe it or not, after 2K, maybe a 2K a little bit with the city and the way that all that stuff works.
Yeah.
They want you to kind of build your own fighters and all that.
I didn't get a chance to get that far. They only allowed you to do 101 with the CPU, and I wasn't in the beta. But the control...
No, you can do that. You can play around with
in the
that.
demo?
Well, I was just saying, the easier shooting methods in 2K, they don't allow that stuff online in the multiplayer.
Okay.
Only the single player. I don't know if they'll do that here, but...
I'm wondering because, look, to be able to just one hand, just press one button in the character, just go crazy, or even with the modern setup where the special moves and things
the triangle,
the triangle, the R1 and the R2, where if you was in classic mode, you have to kind of do it
forward,
manually.
down, forward, standard.
The modern, you just press one button and it just do all of that.
So you're saying instead of the big combos, right? Yeah. You're just hitting like literally a few buttons at the same time and it's doing it all for you.
The specials, for the counters and all that stuff, you just hit one button and it just do everything. It do everything for you. I'm trying to figure out if they're going to do that like 2K where they block that online versus doing it offline. Because if that gets online and they allow people, oh man, people gonna be complaining.
I think so. If that is on, I was surprised about that. I felt kind of a bit dirty that you even gave me the choice, and I'm like, no way, I'm doing that because for me, when I think of playing Street Fighter, and I used to play it a lot, especially Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix online, I was a ranked fiend on that. I used to be so good at that game. And then just like when you think about Street Fighter, you're thinking of down, back, kick to do the, kick, or forward, down, forward. And like, that's the feeling of playing just hitting these buttons. But to press forward and triangle or down and triangle, whatever it was, I was like, that's weird. That shouldn't be.
That's like too easy. And Street Fighter kind of
maybe I got it wrong.
Controller wise, Street Fighter kind of set the palette. Whenever I play a new fighting game, I instantly go in with Street Fighter moves just to see what the character going to do. So the dude kick, the high slice, all that, I instantly do that with the controller. With whatever character I'm playing with, just to see if they're gonna do. And most of the time, they do something special with those configurations. But when I saw this, I said, I know you're trying to kind of make it more casual and easy for people to come in. That's not really complex with the whole frames and knowing all this data and all that. But that's a little bit too easy. Like,
I don't know. Yeah. But you know what, BG, shout out to BG in chat. It says previous fighting games have had that before. There's another one, I forgot the name of it, that had simplified control systems that were going up after the likes of Street Fighter. He says better players still mop the floor with people. It won't be a problem, he says. Skill gap will always usually dictate the winners. Okay. I guess the only way I can see that being a problem is like you get the benefit of these easy simplified moves, but you may not get the finer control that someone who does play it classically. So you can fine tune and deploy.
You probably can't cancel as easily, or probably gonna be slower. Overall.
You still got to know when to use them and how to use them. So, but I just felt it was like, man, that's like really easy.
It leaves like a bad player like me kind of stranded, because I'm adept enough to be able to throw a Hadouken with the classic controls, but I've never played Street Fighter enough to be getting into these frame counters and things. So it leaves someone like me who's in that middle place, like, should I be doing easy mode controls and helping myself, or I'm going to die either way, so it doesn't really matter. We do really quickly. There was a super chat that was missed from VR2. That was all console gamers should be excited for the future. The fact that Burning Shores looks so good on this console, as cheap as $399. Is insane. Capital letters next gen. Yeah, VR2, everyone's excited for it. Everyone's loving it. I didn't see it either. Isla sent it through to me. We missed it. So apologies for that. Yeah.
We should be grateful for that. Burning Shores does look great. As hollow as that game feels to me, and it feels really hollow. Can I just have a little rant about Gran Turismo 7? I played the intro yesterday, 2 days ago. Holy shit. I'm going to keep playing it just to see what it is, but my God, that was one of the worst racing games I've ever played in my life. Bro, Dealer, have you played it? Have you played GT7?
I played every GT except for GT7. You know why?
Bro,
because I don't feel like shelling out for all those microtransactions and whatnot and all that other stuff. No, I haven't played that one. No. But I know that it looks and feels just like the last damn one, which looked and felt like it was from 1996. No, it didn't look, but it felt.
Bro, I don't know where it's going from. It's you boot up the game. You get the most disgusting, unskippable cutscene. You can't skip it. It's so shit. It's such a bad trailer. I recorded my reaction. I didn't think I was going to record. I was going to hit the record on the what the fuck? Because I was waiting for Street Fighter to download, and I've got GT7. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I'm like, skip. And you can see it's not skipping. And then you get the first race. No. Before you get to race, this person called Sarah is talking to you, texting. Let's fucking skip.
Hey, motherfucker. You want to race?
Oh, meet Larry. Larry's in the bar. Hi. Yeah, and then here's a jazz music thing. You want to just play some classical music playing. You can't even pick your track. So
here's a cursor on the screen.
House.
Yo,
bro. It is. I'm not joking. Look,
what about the way it felt, though, Gaz?
Bro, so the game finally gave me option to play, and it gave me 200 credits. It's like 5 Pakistani rupees, because it's like you can only buy a Honda hybrid little tiny dinky car, this little car here and this little car here. I'm like, oh my God, that's not exciting. All right, fine. You gave me a choice of shit cars. Boom, going to a race. It's an oval track. The car sounds like a fucking vacuum cleaner. It's like,
easy bake oven.
I've got it recorded. And you can see I'm not faking anything. I couldn't believe the car sounded like a vacuum cleaner. The graphics aren't all that great at all. Where are you getting this from?
Guys, I'm telling you, like Gran Turismo fans, they haven't played other racing games. I'm telling you, because every time you think about Gran Turismo, you're like, there's so much hype and prestige around the real driving simulator, which is really, take that shit off the game. Stop it. Like, this game sounds like shit compared to its competitors. I think it feels atrocious. I think it feels horrible compared to other racing games, especially Forza Motorsport. It kind of blows your mind when you go back and you look at it and you're like, this is what people are talking about?
You get caught up in replay mode. That's what
it does got a good replay mode.
Now,
it does, because it puts you straight after that replay mode after you finish the race. Like,
I've seen Kratos streaming it, and it was some of the most boring drive.
It has a couple of things going for it. It does have a couple of things going for it, in fairness. Gaz, you're with me. This is what I was saying about it. Like when it came out a year ago, it is dry and sterile and horrible as a game, but going for it, if you can get through those, like that 8-minute intro, and it is awful. From now on, by the way, you can hold the circle button down to skip it, but terrible start to the game.
The intro?
The intro is awful. It's so pretentious, and the first time you launch the game, it makes you watch it. It is a full 8 minutes. Sarah. It's terrible. But it's got the thing that people like about it is the competitive modes. That is an area where Forza does need to catch up a little bit, because the rule set in the competitive modes is taken quite seriously. So there's a community that builds around it. It has that going for it. It's also obviously got virtual reality, which you can't match on Forza, I'm afraid. Gran Turismo, despite being the game that it is, I will play it for ages in virtual reality. because
You could just go drive a real car.
I cannot afford these cars, dealer.
Use your mind.
Well, you can't in the game as well. It takes ages. How long do you get to get decent cars, Asa?
I'm not driving in decent cars yet. I've not played it.
Did they give you 200 credits for imagining that it was a better car when you were driving it?
No, man, it didn't. I was going round this track, and the graphics look crap.
Pinging out at like a rock solid 76 mile an hour, just sitting there cruising. And Ace is right. The online mode, is more flushed out. They got qualifying, right? The penalty system, which Motorsport 7 has implemented, and they've experimented over the past 5 years nearly with Motorsport 7. And I expect to see all that stuff in Motorsport 2020, whatever the fuck year is coming out.
Yeah,
it was just so
this year.
Quiet. You got this like you said, the vacuum sounding car, and you got this elevator music playing, and it's
it's like that, bro. They wave the playlist in front of. There's an Afro House playlist. I'm like pressing X. There's a lock button there, and you're like, you just giving me choice for classical. That's it. Just
you gotta unlock the license for the BGM player.
Put you to sleep. Yeah, to put you to sleep.
I don't understand. That's such a bad design philosophy. Whereas with Forza, some of the best moments in Forza games are actually right at the beginning. Even ones with the cutscenes that make you feel something. The Top Gear soundtrack. You got Jeremy Clarkson playing. They got amazing cutscene music's there, and sometimes they meld the cutscene into the gameplay. So boom, cutscene, boom, you're in the game. Oh shit! That's how the starting should feel. Whereas it's so slow and cumbersome. That's my initial impression of it. I will play it more, but God, it was so annoying. And I only got to play it. I finally got to play because I was waiting for Street Fighter 6 to download. But fuck, Forza should walk.
Music can make a big difference in the game.
Huge difference.
And when you just there driving in circles and it's so quiet and all you I don't want to hit that.
Even good jazz music. It's just classical. So what is this shit, man?
They're trying to cover up the Easy Bake Oven engine noises. Yes, quit it.
Yeah, no, it was bad. I thought they said they improved the audio sound, but they didn't. It was.
They improved the physics too. They just.
But I will say the controller feels really good, and the weight. And you could feel if that felt really good on the controller. So, but I think Forza will have a pretty good. Well, you never know; they'll fuck up somehow. But they have a shit.
They have not fucked up. I don't think with. They made little mistakes, right? But generally, for the time those games come out, every motorsport pushes something, and this one's got apparently 10 times, the fidelity of all the shit and the fucking math problems and shit in it, and it's gonna be great. I'm hoping.
I'm hoping too. When do you think we're gonna get? We haven't
next
even got
week.
A date. There it is. It's coming out next week. Dealer said it. Write articles now.
I want to give you 10 subs.
Forza's overrated. Shut up. No, it's not. But I think this one's gonna land. It's not overrated. Methusiel, thank you for the $3.49. He goes, gotta go, but great show. Thank you. Great stuff. Dealer Gaz, Asa, post up. Thank you so much, Methusiel.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, man. Isla, shout out to you for 10 months, being a member and just being a mod. He goes, looking forward to more Asa content coming soon. Trying to get my money's worth for this fancy media laptop. Shout out to Isla, who actually helps with all the weird foot in bath stuff. Do you talk to each other and say, "Hey, can you put an animation, put a foot in the bath"?
I have never spoken. I don't know who that is. She just steals content from my house and turns it into videos to entertain you people. So do watch the videos.
Shout out to Isla. I like feet. The Splendor First with a $5 super chat. Big up. Big up. Go live. Enough respect, Gaz, the big man. Best friend Asa. Post up. Big up. Yourself, Dealer, the big boss. I can't do it in patois. I'm trying. But keep the fire burning. Hoggy, I see you. Where is Hoggy? I don't see him. He's actually at a friend's party, he told me. But shout out to Hoggy. How's Hoggy, Dealer, on your new panel? I'm hearing
he's always bringing great perspective and things that, maybe none of us thought of, right? So that's the great thing about Hoggy. He's thoughtful.
He is.
And the beard.
Also,
the beard.
He's got a dank beard, and he's just a nice guy as well. Very generous as well.
Splendiferous too, Splendiferous, last time I talked to him in an Xbox party, he was covered in Astroglide for some reason. He wouldn't tell any of us, but shout out to Splendiferous.
Shout out to you, man. Wait, Splinterfist, when are we going to play party chat, man? You never invite me. But shout out to you, man. But yeah, so Jenna Hayes, thank you for the $5 super chat. Guys, what games do you play during iftar? Well, Ramadan's finished. Eid Mubarak to everyone, by the way. It was yesterday, but shout out to him. But I've been playing all sorts. If you watch my personal channel, be playing Sekiro, which is a sick game. Been playing that while I was fasting. But thank you for the super chat. It's such a good game. Such an incredible game. But yeah. Oh, okay. So next up, before we get into the final one, this week, Friday, we're going to get a game that dealer you pushed me to play. Well, not this game, the sequel. This is the sequel to it. Jedi Fallen Order. You're like, Gaz, play it. Play it.
Did you play the last one?
Yeah, because of you, I completed it. It's one of the first
it's pretty good.
Series X games. It's an amazing game. By the time I completed it, which was at the launch of the Series X, I made a tweet about it. I'm like, how's this 70 or whatever method?
Yeah.
This game is incredible.
I was going to say that.
But
like, it's one of the most underrated, like criminally underrated on Metacritic, especially. I don't really know why, though. Like, maybe some bugs I know at launch, but it's a damn good game. Like, I didn't expect to enjoy it like that.
Look good, ain't it?
I didn't.
And
Yeah, the gameplay is mad.
Pretty tough. It was pretty tough too.
So you're excited for the next one, then?
Oh, day one. That's a day one easily. I can't wait for that. I think Jedi Survivor is going to be way better than the first one. I think it's going to be better than Fallen Order because obviously, hopefully, it won't have the bugs. Respawn never miss. They've always delivered some of the, if not the best games. I have spent days on Titanfall 1, days on Titanfall 2, completed Fallen Order just like in a few sittings. I loved it.
What about
and now
Apex?
Apex, I was like, crack. That's the reason why I have such a backlog, is because of freaking the crack that is Apex Legends. I'm not playing that anymore. And they shadow dropped that. Respawn are so talented. For people who don't know, Vince Zampella, who runs the studio, was the original Infinity Ward who didn't made Call of Duty Modern Warfare. They are the OGs. His team left to create Respawn. That's why they're so good. And I think Jedi Survivor is going to be a very special game. It's going to be better than Fallen Order. Graphically, it looks incredible. In combat, it looks amazing. You've got now this fleshed out co-op kind of, not co-op, but, other character mechanic in there and the stuff. I know for a fact, but the biggest complaints about Jedi Survivor was this like Metroidvania level design. It'll still be Metroidvania, a little be backtracking or not, but the level design will be better because if you remember the first one, you just slide down this ice hill and the map wasn't great. I think the map was really annoying in the first one. But this game's going to be wicked. Where do you think, Dealer, this one's going to land? Surely this is a day one for you. You told me to play the first one, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, I've gone against, a lot of people's advice, and I pre-ordered the game even. So I'm excited for the game. I enjoyed the first game. The first game is so much more than anyone who hadn't completed it really probably thought it was, down to the weapons that you get access to, or just kind of where the game takes you. And I'm not a giant Star Wars guy, but I've talked to like Obi-Wan, right? He's got like a Yoda blow-up doll and everything in his room, and just the thing when he was talking about going, certain places and stuff, you could tell that it kind of blew his mind. And I'm familiar with it. I own the movies. I just not a fanatic. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like I like the way they took this, and I like the open world action adventure side of this as well. So there's hopefully a lot more exploration. There's better side missions apparently. There's 7 planets now, I think, and robots that give rim jobs.
Person's like,
I'm just
let's go to that planet.
When you're a true Star Wars fans when you can play the game and know the history of the location where you were at in the game and can speak on that. The first one I played, I played Fallen Order. I didn't beat it, but I played it and it was pretty good. Pretty cool. The graphics looked great. The combat was awesome, and it was pretty different. Like I was getting my ass whooped on the game. It had kind of like a Souls feel to it in terms of the combat, in the difficulty. But dope game. I think Zampella kind of changed the culture over at EA in the perception of EA in terms of the product they put out now. Because now, people used to trash on EA back in the days, but now you expect this type of quality from that game since he took over. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's a good point, because Zampella is now also heading the next Battlefield game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're letting him lead DICE now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's crazy is launching it like they did and fucking the last game up. That's crazy. Yeah, give it to Vince. That's perfect.
I know people still trash Madden, but outside of that, you know, it's a go for everything else. But yeah, he really changed the perception and the culture over there. So
yeah, it's a big part of the reason that we're allowed that Dead Space remake that you love so much, Gaz, is because Jedi Fallen Order was successful.
Yeah, because we're telling single player games.
I didn't know that
couldn't be profitable. Yeah, that's what they were saying before that, before Jedi and all this stuff. So.
I didn't know that.
It's not like solely responsible. Obviously, you got like Resident Evil and things are big influences there, but it was Jedi Fallen Order that taught EA that you can make a contained campaign game. Yeah.
I'm glad it worked, Asa. If it didn't, I would be really, really sad.
So they were multiplayer heavy. Like they wanted to include multiplayer pretty much in everything they did. So yeah,
it's quite funny.
Yeah,
and it's funny as Zampella, because his own game, the first Titanfall, got rebuked for lack of single player. Then they made it for Titanfall 2, and they did it such a good job that people hold it in high regard as one of the best single player campaigns in FPSs.
And they still
but then they released Battlefield like a month away. It cannibalized themselves like idiots. That was EA.
That was EA. That was all EA. And, you know, Zampella, shout out to him. He's gone on publicly when, you know, EA were doing the stupid, like, funny tweets. And then Zampella working for them. It's like, what a stupid tweet. What an idiotic tweet. The guy works for them. It's like, that's how much of a G he is. Like, fucking don't do this, idiots. Publicly. He is an hyper intelligent, very talented. Yeah. So now that he's running Battlefield, he is the source. Keep an eye out for that guy. I always rep that guy. His record is impeccable. He created the COD that we love today.
He took over Battlefield?
Yeah, he's heading it now.
Oh, yeah. So good. You gonna see some major
post up a second ago.
My bad. I didn't know.
I even could have swore you even responded to it. You're like, yeah. And he was like, what? Oh shit. You have to post up.
I was thinking of because we was talking about Star Wars. I was thinking of Battlefront. And when he said Battlefield, I said, "Oh, he taking over Battlefield."
Damn, he's taking over everything. Shit.
You gonna see some major changes there.
Yep.
As you mentioned, Battlefront, the game visually still holds up today. It looks incredible. If they delivered, I think if you handed it over to Zampella, I think they may have lost the license. I don't know. No, they haven't, have they? They've got Jedi, whatever.
Somehow.
But if they did that, another one, with Zampella heading it and delivering an incredible campaign that's not feeling like an afterthought, that would be mad. So I'm glad you mentioned. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, man, that Jedi, I'm telling you, my aims are very high for its Metacritic. I think this is going to be incredible. I hope it is anyway. It's just a lot of it is hope.
Well, as we saw with the last one, even if it's not, ridiculously high on meta or even amazing on meta, play it. Who gives a shit? Because you're right. The last one is like criminally underrated.
That's such a really good point. We just started off talking about how poor its Metacritic score is. There I am talking about meta. But ignore it ultimately because it doesn't always reflect the reality on the ground. But I think this one will do well. Splendid for a shout out to you, man, with the $5 super. She goes, Gaz, you frauding, man. I've been playing with most of the people in the community, but you know why we haven't linked up? Because we play Halo, Doom, and golf. What the fuck? Play golf. Why play Doom together? But yeah, shout out to you, man. We will play. And I'll kick your ass at Halo, even though I haven't played it much. But yeah, man, shout out to Splendor First, man. Last topic of the day. And Asa loves this one. But post up, you are the expert on this. I have saved your old profile photo because I love it. With the newspaper.
Oh yeah,
Post up Times. Yeah. I'm actually using that in the source video. That's a little sneak peek because I need to print it out in actual physically. But I won't give too much. I've already spoken too much about it. But hey, I love that. But the reason why you have that photo and you were the newspaper guy, because you are the CMA guy, you are the FTC guy, you are this whole ABK, you are the OG now when it comes to this news source. When I see it on my timeline, it's like, boom, it's there. The algorithm knows I need to read post-ups update or what is going on with the ABK stuff. And this week you had no shortage of updates because we are now entering into the near final throes of this whole fiasco. Finally, key dates are approaching. We got Wednesday, 26th. Yeah. CMA is going to make its decision on the show. It's going to be a mad one, man. Where do you think the CMA's decision is going to land?
Oh, they're going to approve it. They're going to approve it. I think whatever concessions that they're asking Microsoft of in terms of cloud, Microsoft is going to adhere to it. I think Microsoft perception of Call of Duty is the same they have for Minecraft. You know, we have it everywhere. And since Sony made this whole deal about Call of Duty and not any other Activision, Blizzard, or King IPs, then, you know, y'all can have Call of Duty. We still got Overwatch 2 and Diablo and things over here to the side that y'all have even spoken about. All y'all worried about is whether COD is going to be accessible to third parties like PlayStation. And okay, y'all can have it. Yep. It's good, but I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna get approved. Then New Zealand on the 28th, they're gonna approve. China, it's a political thing over there. They're kind of moving slow. Yeah, they're moving slow intentionally, but I still think it's gonna approve. And then Europe as well in terms of May 22nd. But I think.
May 22nd. Is that the key date of decision?
Yeah, for the European Commission. But often, if you look at their history, whenever they set a date, they always come out with an answer way before the final date that they set. They've done it multiple times in the past. So I see the European Commission following somewhere early May. We getting a determination there. You know, this thing gonna be wrapped up. You know, Sony. COD gonna be everywhere, but you know we got some bangers over here that you ain't cried about or said nothing about. So,
well, you see, this is the thing. I was gonna ask you this week. Look, the only real now. Well, I think CMA kind of given their decision. They've already said that it's not really as far as console market is concerned. They've
Microsoft can do what they want to do in the console market if they want to. They can make it exclusive or not. The FTC said, the CMA said, look, we see how much money that you'll lose if you take it exclusive. We can't tell you how to run your business. We just want to make sure that the playing field is level. So if you want to lose that money, you can do it and make it. But that's on you. That's a business decision that you have to make and we can't make for you.
Yeah,
and that's very short-term thinking by them as well, because you spent $70 billion to draw people to your service, right?
Yeah.
In the long run, I think it would make them more money, or at least as much, by subscription growth in sales and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And the mobile market, let's not forget that. That's a massive point of penetration for these console platform holders who can't really get a foot in. So King is a big part of that equation. So Sony, Microsoft will have done their arithmetic and calculations there. But generally, the market with CMA, I'm expecting an approval on Wednesday. I'll be very surprised if they didn't approve it based on what they've said. I'll be very surprised because that means they've taken an issue on the cloud nascent market situation. And I don't think there's enough there to contest that.
I don't see them making them either blocking it or making them divest anything because of cloud, which is a market that it ain't even really a market yet, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not really a market yet. It's just in terms of Game Pass, it's just another way to access your games.
Yeah, it's true. But this week, so the primary, like apart from Sony as a corporation, it's the FTC. The FTC are being bastards, in my opinion. That Lena Khan is horrendously inept at what she's doing. We said it for ages, but now Congress, they rebuked her so strongly. Like, obviously, as part of the the process, a lot of it was questioning. But what happened this week, bro? Because the FTC, they were saying the things that we were saying. They were saying, like, why are you behaving in a way that seems to appear to protect the market leader PlayStation in this? And then a lot of talk about American company. This is an American company in an industry where there's China and international competition. Why are you mobilizing against it? That ultimately, despite the Congress pressure, this is still going to be an adversarial hearing. It's going to go have its day in court. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think it was warranted. Congress are pissed at her because they've seen over the last 2 years, they've seen the way she's been running the FTC, and in doing that hearing, they say, "Look, we've reached out to you. You don't answer our calls. You don't answer our letters. You don't answer our emails. Right? We gave you this money and these resources, and we told you to do this. We asked you not to do this, and you went and did what you wanted to do. You removed the due process. You removed the law on vertical integrations, everything that we told you not to do. And now you back in our face asking us for more money. Make it make sense. You're asking us for more.
That's the point. She was begging for more money.
After not doing nothing we told you to do, you went totally against it. So look, she's in a bad spot, but she's following. Biden put her in that position, and she's been going against him too. She ain't been listening to them. She just on this power trip.
They also rattled off a bunch of ways in which she's been basically failing. Yeah, the entire thing, right? Like employee morale's down 37%. Fucking, all this shit, right? Like. It's just
people left.
They had a lot of stats ready for her.
Yeah. She left most of the senior position of the senior staff. They left. They said that they have no confidence in her doing her job. She's not following protocol. One of the most scathing things. This is what was disgusting, and I think I retweeted this on the basis that they questioned her. Said you got these independent experts to talk about it. You employed independent experts.
Unpaid.
Unpaid experts, like interns, whatever. But
she's essentially admitting she doesn't have the expertise when she does that.
Not only that, she's like, they then said, why didn't you advertise the position for experts to aid in your determination or assessment or examination of this case? And they're like, we didn't need it. Basically we hired people, no scrutiny over who they've hired. Then they parrot what her lines are saying. She's blatantly spilled out her political mandate. That is dodgy. That is genuinely dodgy to hire people where there's no scrutiny, no checks and balances on the expert's determination you're relying on in your position that you put forward. And Congress picked up on that and said, hold on.
Trying to cover your trail, right? Because you want less paperwork for them to find out who you hired, and that's why one of the Congress was like, well, we need to know who they actually are. Because if it's no paper trail, they unpaid, and we don't know who exactly you hired, and we need to know. And so that's why at the end of that, the lady was like, "I see a lot of corruption here. This is pretty corrupt. And it's what you've been doing in terms of the China thing. The reason why China is so important in this deal is because their gaming industry is protected by their government, right? And so China is able to come in the United States and buy whatever they want, right? They're able to compete with other American companies. American companies can't directly do that in China. In order for them to buy something in China or compete there, they got to go through a proxy. That's why Activision had to go through what's the company they just had a fallout with? What did it call?
NetEase.
NetEase. That's why they had to go through NetEase in order to sell their games in China. And then you got what's the biggest publisher there? I don't know why my brain is going blank.
Tencent.
Tencent, which the government has golden shares in it, in Tencent. So Tencent is protected by its government. If you look at the United States, outside of China, Activision is the biggest mobile publisher outside of China, right? But they don't have no protection. So it's a cheat code. Tencent got a cheat code. We can't compete with you fairly on your playing ground, what I'm saying? Because you're protected by your government, but you could come over into our market and just do whatever you want.
That's one of the reasons why Activision needed Microsoft more than Microsoft needed Call of Duty. And people don't see that. No. Activision need the resources in the infrastructure to compete with the Tencents and the other major mobile publishers that's in China being protected. Yeah. It's bigger than Call of Duty. And what Lena Khan doing is saying, look, if I can't get my way in the States, then I'm going to use other people markets to do what I need to do. Hence, back in November,
Congress rebuked her for that.
And back in November,
you're relying on other jurisdictions to feeding them information, coming out and saying you envy the European, well, not paraphrasing, the European Commission's knowledge on it. We don't have the knowledge here, and you're relying on them. I was like,
last year, right? Last year in November. The EU, Lena Khan reached out to the European Commission. The European Commission was going to start concessions back then. That's what Microsoft was prepping for. But Lena Khan reached out to the European Union, was trying to get them to get on the same page with them in terms of blocking. European Commission say, nah, we ain't falling for that. And then what did Lena Khan do the next day? They announced that they blocking the deal to try to hold up everything after they figured out that the European Commission won't go get down with what they was trying to do. That's what the congressman was talking about. Look, y'all criticize Mike saying this is $2 trillion that lobbying money. Microsoft is one of the biggest players in our government. All types of deal with the DOJ and everything, bro. They know this is their money at work. We need to shed light on it. And that's Everborn said today on this show, we have this on record now. That's the most important thing during this whole hearing about Lena Khan and her actions and the things she's been doing. They have it on record now. It's being noticed now. Because now especially with the political climate with China that's going on right now, you mean to tell me that American company is trying to compete with foreign entities and you're trying to block them?
That's what Congress said. Yeah, there it is. It was a scathing remark. I said it months ago. There's no way that in the geopolitical sphere, someone can find the clip. I said there's no way that will be permitted. There's no way with Tencent circling around, with Microsoft being this tiny piece of pie, with being a $1 trillion company, not having its tendrils in Congress. But it's going to be a wash. The problem is Lena Khan is on this little mad mandate. They've said, we don't care if we lose. We don't care if we lose. And it's making the FTC look bad because the Congress were like, you are undermining the integrity that FTC is known for. And, that's what's happening.
I have no problem with her doing her job. It's just about how she's going about to get it done. Mm-hmm. If you would have followed the law, what I'm saying? Just follow the law. You with the whole Meta case, you lost that case. Then you made your people go back and renege
I mean, if everyone internally is leaving, if Congress is scrutinizing you, you're not following the conversations, the other jurisdictions. You had, at one point, FTC had some backing because the CMA seemed to be siding with Sony and the European Commission. But once they fell apart and they did their due diligence, irrespective of whether or not we thought even then they were not having a good assessment of the case, they've now gone back. FTC are the lone wolf now. With Sony holding on to them, and so it's
when Vestager came out. I'm sorry, when Vestager came out, the head of the European Commission, when she came out and she had that interview on the news, and she said, "Look, we won't be swayed by either side. We're going to make our decisions based on facts." I think that was a shot at the CMA, who at that time was pretty much siding with Sony word for word in their assessment. And that's why the Pony Brigade kind of rallied behind the CMA, because they said, if anybody going to block it, it's going to be the CMA.
Well, we don't know yet. Wednesday, we're going to find out. I'll be shocked. But I'm gonna listen to my playlist of music. I'm gonna go. Which one's gonna piss off the ponies the most? Get that timeline ready because I'm expecting. I don't have crow in my face. I don't want to speak definitively, but I am expecting the CMA to give it a thumbs up.
Will. Microsoft has an event there. They're going to be there. I don't think you go to a place and you know you're going to expect bad. I think it's going to get. The only thing I want to know is, are we going to get? Are they going to release the concessions, whatever the cloud concessions are, in terms of they agreed to? And I wonder if what the CMA and Microsoft agreed to is similar to what the EU agreed to, and I'm pretty much thinking it's all going to align. But yeah, I pretty much just think it's a done deal. It's just a matter of time. I think the FTC, with the pressure that they're getting from Congress and needing more money for resources, I don't think this case is going to go to next year, or probably not even make it to August.
You're expecting a summer kind of like settlement. I think if the FTC are stretched in terms of finances, and they've got a very cash-rich opponent in Microsoft, they bet if they want for a long-term, they're assessing their long-term proposition in this space. Yeah. They might want to take the L on this one and focus their efforts elsewhere, because Microsoft, irrespective of how much Asa you hate the way they've done it with their ads and public rallying, they have maneuvered themselves into a position where it looked really bleak, and now it looks very strong. But yeah, so first off, man, it's good. I can talk to you about this all day, but I'm conscious of the fact that we've got the other two Jeds.
No problem. Don't let them go, because I get into it. I'll be.
No, me and you will have to get you on just to talk about this. It's so I find it so interesting. But let me spin it this way. Well, before I do, let me read these super chats. Fonz, shout out for being a member for 3 months. Just to say, Gaz is always wrong. Wish he wouldn't doom and gloom my favorite piece of plastic. Take it back, Gaz. Take it back. And I see Fonz is fighting in the chat hard. RG Viper X, thanks. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Because Crash Bandicoot and Spyro should be the new mascots for Xbox. Oh, the sauce. He'll be like, they should make them exclusive because Sony only focused on COD. Absolutely, they should. And I would love. Do you see when people lost their minds when Aaron Greenberg did this with Crash Bandicoot? Can you imagine? The sauce would be majestic. One thing I want to take a moment to say, shout out to Fonz. Fonz, as strong-headed as he is, what he said at RDX, he said something with, all he said was with this conviction. And I rate Fonz completely. What do you want? Do you want people to peddle the line? But you complain too much. Some podcasts now make it a feature of just complaining about us. But no, don't look. Fonz says what he says, and he believes what he did, and Xbox need to be fucking held accountable. So shout out to Fonz. I'm here to back up my boy. Fonz, not that he needs it. But on this doom and gloom thing, though, a lot of people spun it round. Xbox is looking shit. They're going to sell up and all this nonsense, dealer. Now, with this ABK deal, do you think, when it does get done, this will switch up the whole narrative? What do you expect with the ABK deal? What does that mean for Xbox and its future roadmap?
It's all true. Everything you've been hearing, sell your Xboxes and fuck it. Fuck it all. You know what this whole acquisition shit, I just want it to be over. Yeah. And I don't care if it bursts into flames or if they're like, yeah, we got it. I don't think all consolidation is great either way, but I think it's better than Tencent getting a hold of it or anyone else getting a hold of it. And I think with the 10-year deals that they're handing out to everyone and their mom, except for Sony now because they're bitches. They kind of went the extra mile to tell you that we had intentions the whole time not to give it to everyone. That's why we're making these 10-year deals. But after 10 years, hey, we'll see what happens. Just remember that nothing's permanent, and Sony didn't even get to sign the fucking thing. So we'll see what happens with that. I think Microsoft will play nice. I don't think they should. I mean, they just tried to. I mean, Sony are actively lying their asses off, trying to fuck over a $70 billion deal. If Microsoft aren't pissed, Activision certainly are. They're both pissed. Don't get me wrong.
I think they are.
They are. There's not a question. Like Activision, or I mean, what? Even if let's say in an alternate reality this didn't go through, Activision ain't signing no fucking deals with Sony anytime soon. I wouldn't imagine. Maybe they would.
Not in the short
Money
term.
does speak.
Not in the short term. Not in the short term.
But they got to be pissed.
I think money does speak, and me and Asa go back on this a lot. I think money ultimately does speak, but I think it will definitely steer if there's a negotiation on the table. These are relationships you've fostered over this year with Microsoft in readiness for the assimilation or merger. You can't discount that. And like now, if it collapses, now you're like, okay, Microsoft pays this, God knows whatever, $7 billion, penalty fee to whatever to Activision. You go back to square one. They're independent. And our Sony's like, hey, can we get a timed exclusive? Fuck you, Microsoft offered us like maybe 500 million less, but you can suck my and that's exactly what will happen.
I'm a little skin tag.
I do agree with Dilla though. Nothing lasts forever, and the pettiness, like I said this before, they was petty when they purchased Activision. We took your food, we took your dinner, we took your kitchen. You got to come to us to eat. But while you come to us to eat, we're going to give you time to rebuild your kitchen and get your own shit in order. You feel me? Because by the time the next generation come around, it might not be a COD on the next PlayStation.
Well, that's 10 years. I think we'll probably end up being there. 10 years is a long time. And I think we've got...
But see, they didn't sign the deal. They didn't sign no deal or none of that. So Microsoft can do what they want to do.
Microsoft, like, we'll give you a 3-week deal, bitch. Start running.
There's no concession in the hardware market. They can make whatever choice they want to make right now. Sony ain't signed nothing.
Well, I think it's so intrinsically linked to Microsoft with regulators, this whole point of the console market not being affected because of Microsoft's concessions, that any final determination, I think from the CMA, we'll find out what the wording is, but I suspect their approval might be conditional. I don't know how that regime works, but if they offer an approval in the UK, it might be conditional upon Microsoft then offering and signing the deal with Sony at, well, you got to be careful here because Sony could be obstructive and say, well, we won't sign it and your condition is not met. But CMA might employ wording like this like-for-like deal that Microsoft offered Nintendo. If you sign that, then that's fine. And in which case, Sony would have lost out because Microsoft and Brad Smith made it very clear when he was waving that contract around. He said, I've got the contract here. If you want, we're open for your proposals. Basically saying, we will negotiate and
like, what do you
dilute.
Want?
Yeah. Not only, and we'll add some more stuff that potentially, obviously subject to negotiations on there. If that doesn't happen, Sony's only choice would be to sign the standard, let's say, de facto 10-year contract that Nintendo signed. And I think that's what the CMA will say. I'll be surprised if this, but you may be right, Post-Up. They might say, we don't think it's affecting the hardware thing, irrespective of whether or not Microsoft enters into this 10-year deal with Sony. I'll be surprised about that.
They already said that, though.
They said it in terms of the final approval and the conditionality of it.
Well,
they've said
it based on cloud, not the hardware. When they came out and they reneged on their previous statement saying there's no SLC in the hardware market, no lessening of competition, that right there gave Microsoft the pathway to do whatever they want to do with COD on hardware. The CMA in the EU is now totally focused on cloud. So in the console space, Microsoft they don't have to abide by any concessions, any mandate, or none of that. They have free will. The only concessions that they're worried about, which is why they're putting these 10-year contracts out with all these cloud services, is because the CMA in the EU is focused on cloud. They're no longer focused on the console space. That's why I was saying earlier.
With that, though, so when the CMA said that, when they said that they don't care about consoles anymore, they did specifically say that was based on like numbers that they'd seen from Microsoft that confirmed that there was no incentive for them to take it away from PlayStation. So I would still expect, even though they've said that, like if Microsoft then say these numbers were bullshit, we can do what we want, I think there is a contingency in there, and the CMA might say, actually, we're going to revisit this then because we misread those numbers clearly as you've done it. So I don't think they can do whatever they want. There will be contingencies in there. The interesting thing that I expect from the CMA next week, I do expect it to go through. Dilla was saying that Microsoft have offered these contracts to everybody except Sony, but it's actually not everyone except Sony, because they've very specifically not offered it to Amazon or Blacknut either.
They offered them to Sony. Sony just didn't sign them.
Yeah, Sony didn't sign them, but they haven't offered them to the subscription service competitors. And I'm wondering if the CMA will say, well, you should probably do that. And then Microsoft will probably do that.
I don't think Microsoft even had to offer them to the people they've offered them to.
They're very
I think this is something going the extra mile. You know?
Though. Like,
but I think they should take all them take all them shits and rip them in half. They don't owe nobody nothing. They're still distant number 2. I agree with you. Everyone could fuck off. You know, I mean, Sony don't deserve no part of any of this shit. They're not paying for nothing, and they clearly lied out their ass this whole time. They're just trying to buy time, really.
Hey, so that incentive you was talking about is what I was talking about. They seen the numbers and seen how much Microsoft will lose if they pull a card from PlayStation. And they looked at those numbers and say, well, I know y'all ain't fit to be willing to write off this loss after just spending $70 billion. So that's what I was saying. They still can, whatever Microsoft choose to do, they can choose it. But they looking at it like, y'all ain't fit to take that big of a hit after y'all just spent $70 billion. We don't see no incentives there for y'all to walk away from all that type of money. I still think Call of Duty is going to be everywhere. It's going to be on PlayStation, even in the next generation.
But the 10-year question might end up becoming 7 years. If I was Microsoft, my advice would be they didn't sign it. The CMA made the whatever it is of the condition, like you said, it is a 10-year deal, then fine. But if I'm Microsoft, you'd be fucking stupid. Like, Abdillah, you're right. They don't deserve it. Like, this is a free market. They're third place. I don't give a shit. So if I was counsel for Microsoft, I'd be like, offer the 6, offer 5, offer something more if you want. Then your, future strategy-wise, when the next gen starts rolling in, boom, COD is.
Do you offer anything? Because they also have the ability to do exclusive content if they want to. The CMA look past that too.
I hope they don't do that.
They say full and partial closure. They don't see any of that in the console space. So if Microsoft did want to do exclusive content like Sony been doing, they're able to do that. But I don't think they're gonna do it.
I don't think they will, and I don't think they should. I hate that kind of like, even on the ethical level. I guess I think Microsoft shouldn't do that. Just make it like less maybe. Oh shit! What the fuck is that noise? I think my phone has been on the whole time. No, that's not right. I don't know. I can hear myself this whole podcast. I don't know why. But yeah, look, this deal is going to be exciting times. We're finally seeing the end of this coming through. So Wednesday is going to be all fireworks. And if what we're correct, and it goes on Wednesday, and then New Zealand passes it, everyone is really going to cascade. European Commission in May. And then it's all in the America.
At least all the small markets. Once the CMA go, I think all the small markets, like you were saying, New Zealand, Australia, Turkey, because I think it's like 16 different countries, if I'm not mistaken. All those, like you said, will fall like dominoes. And then if you just got Lena Khan that's going to be out there on the, in the desert by herself trying to block it. The optics is going to look bad. The Congress already told her you look bad. You looking bad right now because all these cases you losing is not our definition of being success or being successful.
It's a professional embarrassment for that. For that.
So that's why I think she's gonna either roll with the EU and the CMA in terms of the concessions and close out, and it's a done deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Well, let's see if Lena does go back on it. I think that would be the smart play anyway. But I think she wants to see her day in court. Let's see. RG Viper X, Microsoft should give Sony COD on a case-by-case basis, year by year. Hey, man. Yeah, Lulu was saying, like, you're getting it on better terms than we at Activision would ever have offered it to you, Sony. So Microsoft, you've done your rallying. Wait till the CMA where everything is done and still be competitive, because Sony don't give a shit. We've talked about this for a while. BGC, everyone enjoyed it. Even you did. Don't even lie. Shout out to 571 people still watching. Shout out to the damage control people in chat still arguing with Fonz in chat. And shout out to everyone else. Thank you so much for being here. We had a mad show. Am I regulated? Never. Hit the like button if you like this show. It's been a while, but it's been saucy. Oh, it's been such a good time. Before we give the gents their outros, Asa, you go first. I'm sorry that we had FCMA talk. I'm not sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. You were clearly having a good time. So, and Post Up clearly follows this stuff very closely and knows what he's talking about. So it's good. There's a massive audience that follow it just as closely and want to know all of this stuff. I'm not necessarily one of those people, but that's fine.
I know it's a lot of people like that. They is tired of hearing it.
I will be so glad when it's done. It'll be the most devastating news if it, for any reason, gets held up or delayed or doesn't go through. It's going to be like, oh, we've got another 5 years of this, haven't we? Please go through. Please treat Blizzard well, and then I'm happy.
And I will say, and I said this before, but Asa, me and you, it's not that, but me and you agree this. When this deal goes through, when it goes through, I have to be relentless with Microsoft with its delivery.
Yeah,
insufferable.
Microsoft should be relentless without Activision Blizzard King.
Yeah,
mate.
70 billion is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, Asa, you agree with me there. So that point that all this mismanagement, all this leadership head should roll. I think you're suggesting there, correct me if I'm wrong, that now with this deal going through, it's a whole different ballgame. Microsoft can't afford to be sleeping behind the wheel.
What I really would like to know, and we're not going to know, but in 2013 or whenever it was, when Phil Spencer had this meeting with Satya Nadella and you did your video and it blew up and was fantastic for the channel and all the rest of it, he said, we need to go all in on gaming. I would love to know what he has promised Microsoft. In response to that, nobody talks about it, and you have this conversation this week like, are Microsoft disappointed with Xbox? What did Phil say that gaming is going to look like over the next 10 years? Is it there? Is it going there? I'd love to hear that conversation, and we're not going to.
That is a good question.
I mean, we'll never know, but whatever he said is powerful enough for them to double down in a way none of us could have imagined. None of us.
Yeah.
This is what is a shock to the pony system, let alone ours. It was just like,
He just said, I'll make the numbers go up instead of down. That was enough.
That's all he said. He said, if you don't, free blowjobs. But
the fuck? No one gives them for free.
It costs something at the end of the day for Phil or wherever. It's going to be a very... Shit. But it's gonna be interesting, and this is the thing. BG, you're right. I do think they always fuck up. Microsoft always fucks up, but now, like, this whole question of Xbox is gonna go away is gone. This deal is gonna this will be the impetus for Microsoft to fix up. If 70 billion isn't enough, what will be? And fans, this is why I'm saying, fans, right now, just double down on the pressure. Some people don't like it and you're whining. Then fuck off somewhere else. But because ultimately we are passionate gamers. We are passionate, especially me, Fonz, Dealer, all of us. We are Xbox guys primarily. We've been in this space for 2-3 decades crying fixing about Microsoft. So this is a positive thing. All this negative doom and gloom, like it's all the industry is changing. So just, if you're not going to put pressure now, when will you? But we'll see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Listen, BG, since 2015, this will definitely be the year Xbox gets it right. No one is saying that they're going to definitely get it right. But even you cannot deny a $70 billion is a big serious statement of intent. Statement of intent.
It took a while when you're coming from one leadership to another. It takes in corporate years. It took years for Phil to actually implement his plan. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the Donnie D era. That's not a 1 or 2 year turnaround. That takes years. I know people go back to 2014 and 2015. The most important thing will be the town hall meeting after this, because I know they said once the deal go through, they're going to do the same town hall that they did with Cinemax. What we're going to see from there, and I think the transition from when they get Activision is going to take even longer than the 2 years it did with ZeniMax. You're talking about over 10,000 employees. So I think a lot of this is now, but you probably won't really see the fruits of this until next generation, which I think, between Microsoft, Xbox Game Studios, ZeniMax, and Activision.
We need to see them now.
Everything.
We need to see them
now.
now.
Take that long.
You don't think
it's that long?
No, I think when it's done, they're gonna, get titles into Game Pass relatively quickly, as they've stated. I think that's already kind of giving gamers something back from it, right? Okay. In terms of new IP and stuff like that there are no rules around and nobody has any shit on, and all that stuff they can do whatever they want with, especially maybe next generation, but I don't think it'll be nearly that long. This could be a very long generation, especially because the hardware is really balanced.
Yeah, and COVID. Yeah, I think COVID put an extent.
Stalled 2 years.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, 2 year extension. Let's be real. Like COVID has added another 2 years onto that. Already was looking like a 7-year gen. So, who knows? But this is crystal ball stuff, poster. But I don't think so. I think Microsoft, looking at I do take Jeff Grubb at his word when he says Microsoft execs are not happy with the performance of Xbox so far, especially Sony's 400% increase. Microsoft dipped.
Again, though, you got to also mention in the same breath they haven't launched any games with a new hardware. So
exactly.
That's a big thing.
That can change.
It looks good for the deal because it pretty much
does look good for the deal. It does but I'm not entertaining the notion that it's done purposely.
That's why I didn't say that. That's how
I might be talking about purposely, though.
See, regulators?
Sabotage. Self-sabotage. No, it's not going to be. But look, if you're talking about whether it's going to be fixed this gen, ZeniMax, Bethesda Studios already, people are looking at, despite Redfall's missteps, you still look at their suite of games, whether or not it was during Microsoft's tenure, still diverse games like Ghostwire Tokyo, you had Deathloop that was successful, you're gonna have Starfield, you're gonna even have even Redfall, it's weird to even say that. We're already seeing the successes of that. ABK with a 10K, come on, they're ABK, Blizzard, Diablo. If deal got done before Diablo was released, can you imagine? Game Pass game Diablo. How many subs would go just for Diablo? I paid fucking God knows what for pre-ordering Diablo, and I wouldn't have pre-ordered it if I had confidence in the deal happening in whatever June, wherever it releases. But
when they did that beta, that's all I saw on YouTube and Twitch was Diablo. When they gave people access to beta, that's all people were streaming. It was everywhere.
Diablo's big, man. Diablo's big. Everyone's more people. Diablo 3 was known for crashing and not working because of the whole sea of people trying to play it. And Diablo's going to be, the new Diablo looks amazing. Yeah. It plays good. If you played the beta, it was great. I'm there. Necromancer day one. I pre-ordered it. And if the deal gets done, massive boost. All this focus on COD, and there's so much there. Dormant IPs within that. Blizzard, and I'm saying I'll be hot on their heels, not only revising and revisiting old IPs, which Phil Spencer has said. He has said it explicitly, expressly. They will look to, and of course they would. Why wouldn't they? We'll look to revisit the old games, which is what get pissed off at Colin Moriarty, and it's one-sided view of things. If you're a fan of gaming, why would you not want this deal to go ahead? Yes, Microsoft sucks, but what, you want Tencent to do it? No, this is the chance for Blizzard to finally fix itself. When Microsoft fixes itself.
Game Pass needs to be fed.
StarCraft.
Be constantly fed. And so new IP, old IP, you're going to have to get it cooking. If you need to constantly feed that machine at the rate it's supposed to be fed, if you're trying to dub yourself the Netflix of gaming, then you got to.
Absolutely. You have to do it. That's why they put $70 billion. That's why we're going to get a shitload of games. That's why you're going to get, before the deal was even announced, Phil Spencer, they even said that they will work positioned to make COD not an annual affair, which means COD will improve because the studios don't have to keep churning out a COD that's relevant. We don't get our Vanguards. We get more like Modern Warfare 1 and 2. So it's just going to be, it's genuinely believe it's going to be positive.
Freedom to work on whatever they want to work on and kind of not, pressure every studio to just do COD. I think that's going to be
or
good.
Overwatch
Did
as well.
COD off like on itself, have the people that want to work with COD and then just allow the other developers to just, create and do whatever they want? Does COD become its own entity like Minecraft? Because you know how Minecraft sit on its own in terms of the whole Microsoft organization, and they do their thing. Do they do that with COD? Build them a building from the ground up like they did Ninja Theory. Hire people that want to be totally dedicated to COD like they got with Halo, and then allow the other studios to do what they do because they no longer have to focus on assisting or supporting that IP. Yeah, I could see something like that.
There's a lot of people. I mean, even if you say the same people are working on COD, that just benefits COD. Like they have more time. They're not pressured to release a COD that's relevant every year because now they've got Microsoft money and they've got the backing and the quality, all of that. It's just generally positive, and I'm very excited for ABK and Microsoft. Just like I would have been excited for Bungie being exclusive to Sony. I think it would have been great for the industry. Absolutely amazing for the industry if Destiny 3 was exclusive for PlayStation. Xbox fans might cry, but that will get Xbox to fix more pressure. Like, what's his name who's running 343 now? Like, it's like, yo, they're releasing Destiny 3 next exclusive PlayStation. You better fix this Halo, man, and it better be good.
Yeah, they got Pierre over there.
Pierre Hines, you
fucking bitch. Yeah,
I don't know if he's ready.
Hopefully Pierre's focus more on the quality of the game and less of other things,
Yeah, no distraction, no bullshit, none of that crap. Fix the game. He did have a good checkbox on his history on fixing the Master Chief Collection. That was no mere feat. But what is it like with the creative direction of the game? You can technically proficient, but how are you going to rally a team to work on the creative vision and bring people excited about that? Because that's a whole different kettle of fish. If he can make me happy about Halo, he's a boss. Free BJs. But yeah, on that note, sorry, we kind of dragged that last, but it was just I had to go for ages, but I'm conscious of the time and taking up too much of the Jed's time. It was a fire show. Sponsored by Future. It's gonna be so much fun as well next week. Oh man, maybe Post Up should have had you next week as well. And me and D-Land, we're just gonna be shitting and posters all day.
Hey, it's gonna be some tears. It's gonna be some crying and tears next week. Go.
But it's gonna be it's exciting times, man. Summertime, we got games, we got Star Wars coming in Friday. How are we gonna play that game any appreciable amount of time before this whole CMA thing? Got videos coming. It's gonna be all good. Dealer, speaking of videos, when are we gonna get a Dealer video?
Tomorrow.
It's been a while. Oh wow.
No, yeah, I mean, last time I was dealing with Premiere Pro issues, right? I had to reinstall and delete everything and basically just undo years worth of work and presets, and it was great. Wow. And now, I'm thinking about maybe Monday, but again, appreciate all the messages, and I've been getting a lot of them on Xbox. I'm guessing we're doing outros. You can follow me there at ii_dealer_ii. Twitter at dealer_gaming, where I do tweet every year or so, and then YouTube. You can check out my stuff there, where we do a podcast every week, and then soon to be videos. So again, thank you guys for watching. Without you, there is no show. And sorry I was quiet there at the end, but I was just listening to Post Up, and I was like, you know what? This is some magical stuff right here. I was just enjoying it. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on, man, and thank you for just killing it, bro. And just supporting us and just being an OG as always. And faced with a $2 super chat, Dealer, we are getting a Spider-Man 2 review. Are we getting a Spider-Man 2 review?
That is weird. Spider-Man 2018. That's like one of my biggest videos. I think it's got like 700,000 views or something like that.
Wow.
I reviewed that game again a year later because I went back and beat it again with all the DLC and stuff. Mm-hmm. And even that one did like really, really fucking good. So I don't know. Probably not.
Do it, man. I'll be intrigued to know what you think about Spider-Man.
He'll be back. He'll be back. 700,000 views.
I mean, hell, if I ever went to PlayStation, I gave a fuck about that. No, I would have just made some more videos though. Seriously though, thanks for watching the show.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, post up. We finally got into the meat of the CMA stuff with you. It was wicked with you with Jeff, man. Shout out to tell the people where they can find you, bruh.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, man. You and Asa, I really appreciate it. Always have a great time when I come on. It's been fun, rocking out with Dilla, too, as well. But you can follow me on Twitter at postup_BBB, on YouTube, postup or State of Gaming. We go live every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central. 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, man, come rock out, come support the platform. That's seeing I get carried away because there's so much there, But,
good. I love it. That's why we love it. Man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Anytime, man, I come on, man. No problem.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much as well. You killed it as always. It's what a good show. Asa, any final words before you die?
Me?
No, that sounded weird. No.
Oh yeah, you're not dying. That's right.
Oh man, Carlos Alvarado. Before we go, thank you so much for the super chat. Go shout out, guys. Asa Dealer post. Hit the like button. You absolutely hit the like button, and we'll see you next week. Good night.